President Biden ignoring the Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocy's question after Doocy asked him about the reported plan to pay $450,000 per head to illegals. That's $1 million per family to illegal migrants separated at the border under the Trump administration. Watch this.
Mr. President, is it true that we're going to give $450,000 to border crossers who are separated?
No comment there. Joining me right now is the Texas Department of Public Safety, Lieutenant Christopher Olivarez. Lieutenant, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here. What do you know about this proposal to pay illegal migrants $450,000 a head?
Well, good morning, Maria, and great to be with you. So, again, this is another example, a clear example of a complete failure of the federal government failing to act and take action on this border crisis. Now, what they're thinking about doing is incentivizing these individuals, these families who they claim were separated during the previous administration, and now they want to pay them $450,000 per head. Now, all that's going to do is it's going to entice these individuals, more migrants, and especially these large caravans, to continue to make this journey to the southern border. And not only that, the criminal organizations, the cartels, are going to exploit that messaging as well and tell these migrants right now is a time to come, because not only will you be led into the country, but now you're going to be paid $450,000 a person. So again, a complete failure to act. It is unbelievable. It really is. And I wish I knew the explanation behind it and what the motive behind it is, but all you're going to do is just open the floodgates. As it is, they were open and they've been open, but now you're going to have more individuals, more migrants, more caravans making this journey to the southern border because of that messaging.
Right, of course. We were just showing pictures of when I was with you in Texas on the ground, and we're seeing ripped fences. We're seeing all of the damage that you have uncovered as a result of some gotaways. Then we've got this news story this morning, Lieutenant. Border Patrol agents in southeast Texas finding nearly 100 migrants locked into a refrigerated trailer. Oh, my God, these migrants were discovered after the driver of the truck had to go through an immigration inspection. What can you tell us about this? It comes as a migrant caravan with the thousands of others are making its way to the southern border. But, you know, this one occurrence that we've got today shows us the dangerous trek that these migrants are taking and the positions that the cartels, the criminal cartels, are putting them in, jamming all of these people in a refrigerator? Right.
So that's just one of many methods that these smuggling organizations use to move these migrants further inland. I was in Del Rio last week. I was out there with our men and women who are working the rail yards, working these trains that are coming in. And we rescued individuals, migrants that were trapped inside cargo trailers, cargo tanks, with no air circulation, of course, with extreme heat. And it just goes to show you that these smuggling organizations have no regard for these migrants that they're transporting, because you got to keep in mind, and we talked about this when you were in Del Rio, and we talked about how the cartels are exploiting the situation right now. They're exploiting this crisis, and how it's a low risk for them to move migrants across, because they get paid once they're already in Mexico. So it's not a loss for them. They already got their money. They already got paid. And now what they're going to do is they're going to continue to exploit this situation. They're going to continue to smuggle these migrants further inland. And you're going to see different tactics, different methods by these organizations to move these people further inland. And one thing to keep in mind when we talk about the cartels, we're just empowering these cartels. And with our resources that we've been able to talk to, our federal partners, these cartels are making well over $100 million a week just on human smuggling. That's not even narcotics. Their big incentive right now, the big product right now is human smuggling.
What about the Trump era remain in Mexico policy? I know that the Biden administration has been told to reinstate this policy, but when I was on the ground, a number of people told me they don't expect them to do it. I mean, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas issued a new memo terminating the program. In it, he acknowledges that remain in Mexico did decrease border crossings after President Trump enacted it. Lieutenant Olivarez, where do we stand on the remain in Mexico policy?
So what I've heard and what I've gathered from our federal partners and some of our law enforcement, the boots on the ground, is that it was a very effective policy. And now, and of course, you know, we try not to get too much involved with the politics, but the fact of the matter is that this worked. It was very effective. And I can tell you from a law enforcement perspective, we never saw the numbers. We never saw the methods of these individuals being crossed. The empowerment that we're allowing these cartels to profit off of, the money, the weapons, the drugs. It just makes them even more powerful now. We've never seen that before. And that's from a law enforcement perspective. And I can tell you right now, again, as we talked about earlier, and we continue to talk about, is that there's no action. There's no viable solutions from the federal government to take care of this crisis. It seems like they're taking away all the valuable resources from law enforcement. And again, they want to incentivize these individuals to make that journey. And that's what we're going to continue seeing. And that's an unfortunate situation for law enforcement, and especially our U.S. Border Patrol agents, because now they're going to have to continue to deal with this crisis until we see some drastic changes being made.
All right, Lieutenant, we'll be watching, of course, and we so appreciate your leadership on all of this. Lieutenant Christopher Olivarez, we'll talk soon. Thank you, sir.